Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are a future threat to freedom which we cannot ignore. Here is a summary of the potential pros and cons of CBDCs and how we can prepare for them. The reality we are living today is that the last 3 years has seen a worldwide government and central bank intervention. While governments have used the idea of safety to inflate the role of the state, central banks have simultaneously used the consequences of these interventions to inflate the supply of traditional fiat currencies. Even in the face of the World War, we have never seen interventions of this scale before. But perhaps an important question we should be asking now is whether these two roads have a moment of convergence ahead. Is there a point of unification where both roads merge into a high-speed highway? Of all the changes ahead, central bank digital currencies may represent the most likely candidate for this convergence of government and monetary policy. CBDCs are not a conspiracy theory. They are not a fictitious dystopian fantasy. They are in development and in use right now. The purpose of this video is to explore the future role of CBDCs in our economies and lives. We'll start by explaining what CBDCs are and how they might work in practice. Then we'll turn to where this highway could take us as a society and, more importantly, how we can carve out an alternative route. What is a central bank digital currency, CBDC? A central bank digital currency is a form of electronic money issued by central banks. This money represents a digital token of the national currency. So there can be CBDC of euro, of dollar, of any currency. CBDCs could be used by households and businesses to make and receive electronic payments. The concept of CBDCs is seen as an offshoot from the emergence of cryptocurrencies. Indeed, CBDCs may rely on similar underlying cryptography and distributed ledger technology to achieve optimal levels of trust and efficiency. However, cryptocurrencies and CBDCs couldn't be further apart in their degree of centralization and supply limits. Advantages of CBDCs. Before we explore some of the most worrying aspects of CBDCs, we should explore their benefits. Why? Keep in mind that many of these arguments will be used to justify implementation across the Western world over the next few years. So it's important that we understand them. 1. Simplification of monetary policy. One of the challenges with traditional monetary policy is that it relies on intermediaries in the banking system. CBDCs would allow central banks to establish a direct connection with citizens. This is a very dangerous situation which gives a government a great manipulation tool. I will elaborate on that later on. 2. Reduced illegal financial activity. A transparent ledger will make it easier for a central bank to track transactions and prevent fraud. In turn, the central bank can support in reducing illegal activity. 3. Efficient cross-border transactions. CBDCs would enable more efficient transfers from one country to another. This would significantly reduce the cost of sending and receiving currency. That all sounds rather interesting, doesn't it? But if you haven't detected it yet, there are some worrying disadvantages. 1. Traceability. You will no longer transact anonymously. Physical cash won't be delegalized immediately. CBDCs will initially be a convenient add-on to the existing system, helping drive transactional efficiency and improve cross-border transactions. But make no mistake, the disappearance of cash is inevitable. This is significant because it eliminates our ability to transact in a fully anonymous manner. CBDCs will likely use some form of private ledger, offering controllable anonymity, but traceability and transparency for central banks. In short, that means that in the same way your debit card transactions are visible to your bank, your financial activity will be visible to your central bank. We'll come to why that may be a part of a bigger problem. 2. negative rates. There will be no option to hold physical cash in the CBDC world. You can now withdraw your digital tokens and hold them under the mattress. Eventually, there is no option for physical cash. This gives central banks greater flexibility to implement negative interest rates. In doing so, people will be encouraged to use the money or lose the money, increasing consumer spending. 3. Programmability, new weapons for serial economy killers. With the centralization of our relationship with the financial system, CBDCs give central banks a unique opportunity to make money programmable. The major problem central banks encounter with monetary stimulus is that they control the price of money, interest rates, but not the velocity of money. CBDCs change that, offering the opportunity to implement policy to increase or decrease velocity according to their perspective. Let me give you some examples of how that might affect policy in practice. Number 1. Expiration. With a direct relationship with your central bank, CBDCs could permit a currency expiration policy. Your money could be programmed so that if you don't spend the $5,000 in your CBDC account the next Saturday, it will expire. Not funny. Do you think that this sounds absurd? According to this Wall Street Journal article, China has tested expiry policies with its own CBDC. 2. Helicopter money. CBDCs are a means of delivering helicopter currency quickly and efficiently to the pockets of citizens. With the push of a button, your newly printed fiat currency can arrive straight in your CBDC account. 3. Lending. With a diminishing role for commercial banks, it's probable that central banks will begin to play a role in lending decisions. Want a mortgage or business loan? Complete the application on your Freedom app and the central bank will be in touch. 4. Customizability. Personalized monetary policy. Taken collectively, the issues of traceability, absence of physical cash, and programmability raise important ethical questions. By extension, they also raise the likelihood of personalized monetary policy. With a bank of big data on individual spending, saving, and investing habits, coupled with digital identification infrastructure, the central bank will have enough information to tailor its monetary policy. Remember, CBDCs provide dual control over price and velocity. We are stretching now into scarcely imaginable territory here. But this means stimulus tools might be used where they will have the most impact on velocity and not necessarily universally. For example, it is known that lower earners have a higher propensity to consume. Stimulus could be directly delivered to those people. Worse, while central banks are labeled independent, personalized monetary policy could become politicized. A government could segment its voters, identify communities where it is behind in polls, and deliver stimulus to these groups. How to prepare for CBDCs? This situation isn't going to happen overnight. Governments will not push a button and instantly introduce programmable, personalized monetary policy. It may take 5 years, it may take several decades. Incrementalism will be the key to successful implementation, and while ideas may sound insane now, they are legit possibilities later. The critical point here is that CBDCs are not a trendy extension of the cryptocurrency space. The critical point here is that CBDCs are not a trendy extension of the cryptocurrency space. They are in fact an opposing force. They are a trap, traditional fiat currency on steroids. They are a mechanism for levels of central control hard to imagine for anyone who was grown up in free countries. And sadly, they are close to inevitable. Work is advanced across major economies, and so we need to plan accordingly. 1. Physical assets. As we transition to CBDCs, the first and most obvious route is to reduce your fiat currency portfolio allocation. In particular, physical asset ownership is going to become even more important. Whether it is productive real estate or perhaps even precious metals, their value will rise. 2. Alternative currencies. CBDCs will encourage more people into the crypto space. Broadly, there are two distinguishing factors that alternative currencies can offer. 1. Finite supply. 2. Anonymity. The majority of the thousands of cryptocurrencies in existence come with finite supply. A very small proportion of these cryptocurrencies likely represent excellent investments in the long run. The majority of cryptocurrencies are transparent. Everybody can see one another's balance and transactions on a given address. Transactions are public and traceable, and therefore do not resolve the problem of anonymity. Privacy coins may therefore offer the most compelling case, where core utility is as a cash alternative. Privacy coins, such as Monero, may therefore offer the most compelling case, where core utility is as a cash alternative. Summary: a central bank digital currency, CBDC, is a form of electronic money issued by central banks. It is a digital token of the national currency. Advocates of CBDCs argue that they will help to simplify monetary policy, promote financial inclusion, improve cross-border remittances, reduce illegal activity, and support the fintech sector. But CBDCs have some worrying drawbacks. These include the loss of privacy due to traceability, an open goal for negative interest rates, programmable money, and customizable monetary policy by individual. We may be able to protect ourselves from this risk through physical asset ownership, alternative currencies with anonymity feature, and through capitalizing on investment opportunities in CBDC infrastructure. Time will tell where we end up with CBDCs. For now, I strongly encourage you to do your own research. Work is happening right now, whether we like it or not, and the initial implementation is closer than most think. It will pay to research and prepare accordingly. Subscribe, comment, and give us thumbs up. See you next time. Bye.